So, our next speaker, I met at a conference in San Diego, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I knew that I wanted her to speak, but we never quite had the right moment for it. And so I'm really, really happy that we have Elaine Gibson today. And I want to say about that, she has a handout that we'd like you to fill out and get back to us for her after she finishes speaking. You'll be doing some sort of assessment, and that's what she would like you to do. So if you don't have the form, let us know, and we'll try to get you one. Okay. So, Elaine, come up and charm the crowd. Oh, and her bio is in the booklet, so please refer to the booklet.
Okay. Let me know when it switches. You all ready to be charmed?
Yes.
Yes. I'm so excited. Is this on?
Yes.
Yay! Sounds charming. When they told me I had cancer, I couldn't breathe. When they told me that I could expect not to see my grandchildren grow up, I knew that I had to find a way. And I found a way with 3 magic words. And I want to share this journey with you today. So I grew up in New York City. I had an amazing childhood. I had the best family in the world. There was no little girl that was loved any more than I was. I even danced at Carnegie Hall. Could you imagine that? 7 years old, and there I am. Now my claim to fame is that I danced at Carnegie Hall. You know, I used to play with my friends, and we always dreamt about being a mommy and having a family of my own. And I know many of us have families, and it was just amazing. I dreamt of hearing those 3 magic words all my life. And those first set of magic words were, I love you. And these 3 magic words were all around me. They were in my home, and they were in the books that I read. They were in the music that I enjoyed. They were in my heart, and that's where they belonged. My childhood was filled with love. I felt that these 3 words shaped my life. I felt protected. What an amazing feeling that is for a child. I felt strong, and I felt safe. By the age of 53, my brother, my mother, and my father had all passed away, and I was with each one of them at their time. Think about it for a minute. My parents and I were with my brother when he succumbed to cancer at age 36. He left a wife, an 18-month-old daughter, and a pregnant wife. 9 months later, she was killed. There's no drama in my life. I mean, I don't deal in any drama. My father kissed me from a coma when his turn came. I was with him, and I was talking to him, and I said, Daddy, I love you so much, and I've been telling you that how much I love you, and he went like this. He was in a coma. Isn't that what we want? I mean, there was no greater honor than to do that. My son Seth and I, who will be 50 next month, were with my mom. We held her. Her last breath was kissing him. She died in our arms. At that instant, I wondered who would hold my hand now when I crossed the street. That's a big deal from going from feeling safe. And although I have amazing children, they're grown, Marlo and Seth, and my husband is like one of the best people on the planet. But suddenly, I felt alone. I felt responsible, and I was shaken to my core. Now, these moments are really important And I want to share them with you because they are what molded me into who I am today. And they illustrate the power of 3 magic words. Fast forward at the age of 55, a new and unexpected phrase of 3 magic words emerged. And now they would shape the next chapter of my life. You have cancer. Suddenly I felt alone and responsible and shaken again. Now understand, I'm the matriarch of the family. I went from being the little girl who was safe to being responsible for everybody. Isn't that what mama bears do? Honestly, how does a mother tell her children that she has cancer? So this is my family now. They're grown. This Jewish grandmother from New York City is on a mission. And my commitment to you and to the world is to share everything that I learned while fighting for my life so that you can save years of time and money and struggle and fatigue. So, it was Thanksgiving week 2001. Let me tell you, there was nobody on this planet that was in a hurry except me. There were weeks of testing, and I pushed everybody, because everybody said, oh yeah, we'll get you in here. I said, no, you'll get me in now, today, and I'm not leaving until we're on the schedule. So now it's February. I have a very early stage good prognosis, if we can use those words. But somehow, in my heart of hearts, I knew that traditional protocol was not for me. So I headed to Mexico for a treatment plan that I believed I could trust. I would spend Valentine's Day alone because of 3 magic words. Now I want you to picture, I'm in this look like a third world hospital on a movie set. Now remember, I'm a Jewish grandmother from New York, right? So I'm in this little chapel, and I'm crying my eyes out because how in the world is God going to find this Jewish princess from New York City in this crazy place? But it worked because I was found. Listen, I did it all. Hyperbaric chambers, diet, ozone insufflation. If I can be honest and vulnerable with you, rectally. That's a great vision, isn't it? IVs, I did low-dose chemotherapy, I had massages, I had enemas, far infrared saunas, whatever they had, I did. And yay, 6 months later, I was in remission. Awesome, how cool is that? So 5 years later, my oncologist said to me, honey, this is not coming back, we're done. Well, how amazing is that? No more scans, nothing. I was home free. Just over 6 years, you know, that 5-year mark, and now I'm at 6.5 years, and I'm a proud grandmother of 4 amazing grandchildren. But I noticed things were changing in my body. My husband and I had just come back from the Galapagos Islands, so I'm sure I've got a parasite. This thing is going all over, and I'm going, I gotta get rid of this parasite, because isn't that what you think? You go to the Galapagos Islands, you're not feeling well, you come home with something, right? Little things. They weren't major, but they were enough to get my radar up. So I went through a series of tests over 2 months to be sure everything was okay. But it wasn't. Oops. Fast forward, now we're 6 years out. February 28th, the cancer had returned. 2008, cancer had returned. This time, stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Once again, I had to tell my children I had cancer. Once again, my husband Nevin and I cried together. Once again, I packed my bags. This time I was really in trouble. And I don't do this very often. I developed incredibly painful shingles, and I'm going to be as vulnerable as I can with you because you deserve nothing less. You can probably figure it out that my hair is like really important to me, right? but I lost my long, beautiful hair. This is me on my 62nd birthday. Let me tell you, nobody loses their hair with low-dose chemotherapy. It's not designed that way. And I was just that sick. So the interesting thing was that when I went to get my head, I came home and it just like came out in I'm sure I'm not the only one in this room that's lost their hair. So I went like that, and there it was in my hand, and I thought my husband was going to pass out behind the wheel, because we didn't know anything like that was going to happen. So when I went to pick my wig out, it was one of the strongest days of my life. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? My BFF, Roberta, came with me, and we laughed. We laughed instead of cried. And this is really important, because I want you to understand that at no time did I feel like a victim, but all of a sudden I was really feeling empowered. I didn't understand why at that time. So I came home, I fell to my knees, I looked up, and I said, God, I know I'm not going to die. That's not what you have planned for my children. Just tell me what you want me to learn. So my journey began, and that's why we're here today, right? So what now? What do I do now? I found a treatment plan near me, a wellness center that did the low-dose chemotherapy, because I really thought at that time that that's what I wanted. I wasn't going back and forth to Mexico anymore, and at that time it was really unusual to find somewhere that did that. Any of you ever used oracle cards or fairies cards or anything like that? So you will love this. I walk in now you have to understand, everybody around me is expecting me to die. I was so naive or protected that it never occurred to me. It just didn't. So I walk in, and the infusion nurse says, here, pick a card. Again, I'm this Jewish girl from New York City. What do I know about fairies cards, right? Had not entered this world of spiritual journeys yet. So I want you to picture, she fans it out. And I said, what do I do? She said, just look at it and something will pop up. You'll feel a card that's right for you. I picked a card, and as God is my witness, it said miracle healing. They had never seen that card. Nobody at the cancer center had ever picked that card before. I discovered alkaline antioxidant water. You have it here. This is such an important piece of healing and living in abundance that the conference is committed to bringing it to you. I discovered this. It was a huge, huge, huge piece of my healing. I eliminated sugar and dairy and wheat. So I encourage you to keep calm and make a plan. It took me facing death to get serious about my life. It's a big deal. And I say it quietly because many of us feel it, and it hurts me so much that so many people have to be in a situation that's so unexpected and so beyond grasp till we finally get serious about being healthy. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So when you know better, you do better. I never ever appreciated the concept of alkalinity until I started my health journey in 2008. Alkalinity never came up. I went through all tests. I went through all specialists. This concept of living healthy never came in front of me. I thought I was leading a healthy lifestyle. Many people think they're leading a healthy lifestyle, and it's, well, where did this come from? You know what? We're not leading a healthy lifestyle because we don't have the right data. And this is why these conferences are so incredibly life-changing. So there I was. 18 months later, I was officially in remission again. But I was still so afraid. I was already told I was clean once. So I was like, how do you believe it again? What if it came back? 2 years later, I've been going on. I was still doing ozone. I was doing my water, doing my food and all that. But you know, some of the pieces still weren't there. So 2 years later, up until this day that I'm going to tell you about in October 2011, I was scared every moment of every day. What if it comes back? What if it comes back? I discovered the Raw Food Institute. I discovered green juice and raw foods. Yep, there's me with my juice. I've got 2 of them in my backpack because I had to stop at Starbucks and get green juice on the way here. And the pieces were starting to come together. I started to understand where it fits in. So here's what I learned. The food we eat, the water we drink, even the air we breathe can throw off our body's natural balance, and it interferes with our health, and accelerates the aging process. Now, the interesting thing is that these things are the most easy to implement. People say, oh my gosh, Elaine, I can't think of learning one more thing. Listen, let me tell it to you straight. You're eating anyway. It's not like telling me I have to go to the gym. Am I the only one with a gym membership that doesn't go? Oh, I'm so glad. I go like this. My husband says, when are you going to the gym? I said, when are you drinking your green juice? You know, it's a balance. We all have our sweet spot, and we all have what we're still dealing with. But you're eating anyway. Just learn the concepts and the science and eat the right things. It's the easiest thing we can do. It's all about the immune system to function properly. Every cell in our body needs an alkaline, oxygen-rich environment. And the importance is, Dr. Otto Warburg, I'm sure many of you have heard of him. If you haven't, he's the biochemist in 1931. He won the Nobel Prize. And he told us about the connections between cancer cells and sugar and oxygen long ago. Eating healthy is not a fad diet, it's a way of life. These diets make me crazy. Listen, I've got all the badges. I'm a lifetime Weight Watcher, I'm a lifetime Jenny Craig. You know, we are so filled with information and conflicting information that our brains are exploding. This seemed like something that was right up my alley. All of a sudden, the light bulb went on, and I had total clarity of what I had to do. So I'd like you to spend a minute with me, and I'd like you to close your eyes. If you would, indulge me. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. I wanted you to think about the things that concern you and the fears that you have. And I want, for every one of them, I want you to imagine that they're a red balloon. And you are, if you will indulge me, if you will picture yourself standing with your feet in the sand, you're grounded, and you're at the foot of the ocean, and you've got this bouquet of red balloons that represent all the things that you're concerned about and that weigh you down, and just release them into the air. Take a deep breath and just release them into the air and let them float away from you. And open your eyes and turn to somebody next to you and high five and just say, I am free. We are. Those fears are gone. The conflicting information is gone. Listen, I've got great news for you. We may not have control over the things that are outside, that are bombarding us, that we don't have any control over, But the great news is that you have complete control over what you put in your internal environment. The world can't control everything, but you have total control of what you put in your body and the way you think. So let's learn some very basic and easy information and action steps. This is me hiking when I was blonde. So I decided last year on my birthday that I was done being a Barbie doll and I was going to be a little more mature. So we are designed to thrive in nature. See? The music says, yes, we are. So here's the single question that I ask myself every single day. How do I get alkalinity and oxygen in my body today? That's the only thing you need to think about. And the answer is to eat from nature's gardens. God gave us everything we need. Just eat from God's garden. That's not hard to do. So the answer is always in the question. How do I get alkalinity and oxygen in my body? 80% of what you eat needs to be alkaline foods. You're eating anyway, you might as well know what to buy and what to put in your body. Here are the 7 most alkaline foods. So the thought of, okay, well, what are all these alkaline foods? Here are your 7 most alkaline foods. Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. We all know that. This is where you start. Pick 3 and incorporate them in what you eat for a week. Don't worry about the whole gamut of what they are. Now here's a chart of the whole array of alkaline and foods that we actually have for you, so you don't have to write anything down. If you want the information, you'll all get it, anybody who wants it. So now we look at drinking water that naturally replicates nature's majestic mountains. Again, this water is here for you today. It's that important. Hydration is key. Stay hydrated. Water is essential for good health. It brings the nutrients to your cells, and then it takes the toxins away. But not all water is equal. Your cells, your tissues, and your organs require water that works to perform correctly. And this comes when you are hydrated. So here are some symptoms of hydration, of dehydration. We don't think that these things are caused from dehydration. Ever feel like this? So when we exercise or when we work out, you know, we have maybe our legs are aching, or we've had a good workout, a walk, or whatever it is, and your body needs to get rid of the lactic acid. If you are not hydrated, it goes, okay, there's some water in this body. We need to get this out of us. So it will go to your brain, because that has the most water, and it goes, come here, we need it. So it washes the lactic acid out, and guess what? You get a headache. And what do? You reach for a Tylenol. I promise you that nobody in this room or is walking the face of the earth has a Tylenol deficiency. You just don't. It's not the Tylenol. It's not the Advil. You need to be hydrated, always. Again, it's the easiest thing. So how do you stay hydrated? Drink 1/2 of your body weight in ounces of alkaline ionized water daily. We're not talking about tea. We're not talking about juice. 1/2 of your body weight in ounces. So keep calm and stay hydrated. By the way, if you're not hydrated, you're not going to be calm. Trust me on that one. So is this really what you want, the fate of your life in these hands. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't want to feel like that anymore, and I don't want my life in these hands. I invite you to trust your journey. We're all on a journey. We all have a journey. We all get tapped that we are to bring something to the world. And we're very often not aware of it because we're so busy. And we can question what's going on. But I invite you to take a deep breath and trust the journey you've been given. Because when you trust it, you can embrace it, learn from it, and share your magic with the world. This was my journey. You know, how do you trust a journey when they tell you you're going to die? I didn't then, but I now understand that. And I invite you to trust your soul. So often we get thoughts and we get things that I hear people say, yeah, I had a download, you know, and but our body is whispering to us all our lives. And when we don't listen to the whispers, I love when Oprah, if you've never heard it, it's worth getting the clip that's on YouTube. She talks, well, first the universe gives you a pebble. And if you don't hear the pebble, you get a rock. And if you don't hear the rock, you get a brick. If you don't hear the brick, you get a brick wall. And if you don't hear all of that, you get the demolition truck. Well, I had the demolition truck. But my body had been whispering all my life it had been whispering. I had pneumonia for the first time a year before my diagnosis. I'd never had pneumonia, but it was building up. So what I want to really invite you to find a way to find your center. Meditate. If you don't meditate yet, please learn to find some way of meditation. Get your phone, put on ocean music, close your eyes for 5 minutes, because it's when we are still that we learn and know. Okay, and it's that stillness and the presence that gives us the ability to make good choices. We worry, we get so worried and afraid, it's because we're living out here, we're afraid. What if this happens? What if that happens? And then we have all this baggage. Lord knows, I don't know about you, but I got lots of baggage. But that's back there. If we can trust our souls and get them here, then we can be calm and we can make really good choices that matter, because everybody's looking at you. To the people around you, my kids now are huge green juicers. They become gym rats. They become really conscious of their health. But you've got to trust your soul and find that strength there, because that's where the magic is. It's really funny. It's become so important to me that my private clients, I bribe them to meditate. I literally bribe them to meditate. So they send me a text, done, 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 for a week. And when they do it for 7 days, I send them a gift. And then when I do it another 7 days, I send them another gift. Because I want them to find what happens when you live in a world of abundance and magic is happening all the time. And it just fills me when I see the work they're doing, because they have found a way to trust their soul. So this is my life now. I'm healthy, I'm thriving. I live what I call my most extraordinary life. I love the word extraordinary. To me, it's magical. It's just everything that I want to be and I want you to be and feel. So before and after, there you go. That's a little vulnerable right there. I lost 28 pounds, 4 to 5 sizes without trying. Dieting is crazy. Living is where the magic is. So when you're thinking about doing things to live, you're not worried about getting on the scale. If weight is something that you want to have in a better place, I believe that when you eat well and you give your body what it needs, it will find its own level best weight. So I never let people talk to me about numbers, not scale numbers. I don't have one in my house. I don't want it. Well, it's there, but I don't really, it's there to measure packages that we send. I don't want to get on it. I know that when I get up in the morning, if I can zip my pants that I love, I'm okay. And so many times people come to me, okay, Elaine, I'm finally ready to do it. I said, well, what happened? They said, my favorite pants don't fit me anymore. So find a way to live naturally and abundant, and it will happen naturally. With my renewed vitality and health, I ride the carousel with my granddaughter, Devin. I've got 11 grandchildren. When Devin, she was the youngest of my daughter's family. We would all go away, and she wanted to ride the carousel, and all the kids were bigger. So what does Gaga do? She rides the carousel with Devin. So that's our thing now. She's now 16 and taller than I am, but I ride the carousel with her. My husband Nevin and I love to go away, and we love to run and jump in the ocean. And I swim with my grandson who lives on the West Coast, Gabriel, my son's youngest. And I can do that because I didn't die. I learned and I thrived. I believe with all my heart and soul that a high alkaline, high raw diet and lifestyle is the foundation of a strong immune system. I believe this with every fiber of my body. It's the foundation for preventing and beating disease. It's the connection between living a wholesome life and making discoveries and feeling hope and optimism. That's the way we want to be. It's the change that creates true healing, inside and out. It's got to come from the inside. And it's the key to never again having to tell Marlo and Seth that I have cancer. So looking back now, there are 2 key steps that I took immediately that ultimately saved my life. One is I never for a second thought that I was going to die. Like I said, it never occurred to me. I trusted that God had a plan for me and that I had no idea what it was, but I knew that it would reveal itself, and in time, I would live out to see the plan. And I took complete control over educating myself and understanding and learning what's the foundation of health and creating a strong immune system. Eleanor Roosevelt has a great quote of hers. Feeling healthy and living good and feeling good about yourself is not a luxury, it's an absolute necessity. Now let me tell you, I promise you, I'm no one to argue with Eleanor Roosevelt, but I want to take this one step further. I believe that we have a responsibility to find out how to live healthy, because we must be our best selves to bring our best work to the world. And when we are toxic and we are dehydrated and we are exhausted and we are worrying rather than thriving and trusting, and when we are living in thinking of deprivation rather than abundance, that the world suffers. Because there's everybody in this room has something that they are passionate about, that they want to share and bring to the world. And the only way to do that is to be and feel your best. So I really believe that this is a responsibility. So I really feel that it's time for you now to renew the promises and the vows that you made to yourself. We make promises to everybody else. I'm here to help you find a way to renew those promises to yourself, and a time and a way to find what I call your extraordinary soul. Nevin and I are filled with such vitality and gratitude that we devote our lives to sharing what we've learned. Very, very hard-earned lessons. In 2012, we revived our business and Renewed Living was born. That's what we've named our company, is Renewed Living. So today I'm a motivational speaker, an author, a workshop leader, I'm a private coach, and I was cited by Extreme Health Radio as one of the top 10 most inspirational natural cancer survivors. It was actually cited as number 4. And I am an active, energetic, 74-year-old grandmother. And on Mother's Day, I will be 75 years old. And I'm here to tell you that this is what 75 is supposed to look like. Okay? And I say that very boldly, because if I'm not bold enough, you won't hear it and you won't believe it. But this is the way it's supposed to look and feel. And this, what you're learning here at this conference and what we've spoken about in the 50 minutes that I have with you, is the foundation of having it. So I want to ask you a question. If we don't make good choices, and they're just really simple steps, we haven't talked about rocket science. Again, I'm not asking you to go to the gym. But when the time comes and you are not in your best of health because you haven't made good choices, what are you going to tell the people that rely on you? What are the excuses you're going to give? We have to stop making excuses. We need to claim our greatness and the things that we're called to do. So we have big visions, and our mission is to become the person to bring those visions to the world. So what I've done is I've put a ribbon around everything that I've learned, and I have created a method called Extraordinary Living Made Easy. And what I do is that I talk my walk. There's a lot of talk about, you hear about walking your talk. I believe in talking your walk. There's a big difference. Okay, so I am totally committed to talking my walk. So what I had to do was find a way to put it together. So I've put a ribbon around everything that I do, morning, noon, and night. And it's taken me 3 years to create this method that I call Extraordinary Living Made Easy. So it has all the pieces of the lifestyle, because you can't have one without the other, otherwise a three-legged stool is falling over. So we start with intentions, which we've talked a lot about, really, what our intentions are. And I never, ever talk about dieting. I always talk about eating for radiance. And then we talk about lifestyle support. What are the things that we need to surround ourselves with? And ultimate rejuvenation, which we've talked about, trusting our journey and meditating and things like that. And then we help you get some action. What's the first things you're going to do? So we're very excited about it. I'm launching my first online program in another couple of months. It's taken a long time to put that together. And today I live in a state of gratitude every moment of every day. And I invite you to join me. You've all been given a feedback form. If you would take a moment and fill it out and give us the feedback so we know what more to bring to you, how to give you everything that you need. And if you'd like to, like I said, we have a free gift for everybody. If you'd like to receive it, just put your information there. If any of you want a complimentary discovery session with me. I offer a certain number. They're an hour. Normally I charge $495 for it. You know, we're here, so it's complimentary. Just put your information and then give it to us either on the aisles, and we'll get them from you. There's a few testimonials from amazing women that I've worked with. Here's my information. And so these transformations offer an awareness that's so deep that I now understand that these 3 magic words, I love you and you have cancer, always came from the same place. They always came from what, for me, it's the universe. Whatever your source is, I understand now that I love you and you have cancer always came from the same place, and that they are always here to keep me safe, strong, and protected. And before we go into, I want to open this up if you have any questions for the few minutes that we have left. But I want to wish you health and gratitude, and I want to wish you a life of abundance that's filled with joy and magic so that you can feel everything that you're supposed to feel. So I want to thank you for your time. And if you all have any questions, I think we have a couple of minutes for any questions somebody might have. Anybody? No? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I honestly just wanted to thank you. It's been a pleasure to meet with you and to hear you speak. And I think one of the most important things that comes from hearing you speak is your positivity. And you're having this positive, healthy outlook. And as a cancer survivor, it is so super important for us all to keep that positive attitude and take control of our own health. So I just really wanted to thank you for your time. You're welcome.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? You all are okay?
No, but I want to point out that citrus fruits are alkaline too. A lot of people get confused over that. All fruits and all vegetables are alkaline.
Okay. Okay, so if you'll fill those out and just maybe pass them to the aisles, that would be great. We'll come and get them. Again, thank you for your time, and I want to wish you health and gratitude always. Thank you.